Hello, everyone. It's me, Rosie B, and today we are playing episode 3 of Autumn in Oakbend. I almost forgot the name of my own show. Starting off strong. We are still raising money for Starlight Children's Foundation, even though we are out of Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. It is always a good time, anytime, to raise funds for them. They are a wonderful foundation. They provide items to make hospital stays a little less scary, a little more fun for kids. This can be games, character hospital gowns, radio flyer wagons to get to and from procedures and appointments. Just little things here and there to help the kids with their treatments and hospital stays. So wonderful cause. I love working with them and raising funds for them. We are currently at $195, which is a little bit more than where we left off. So I'm very happy about that. Thank you. It just says Villagers of Oakbend, so I'm assuming that's another anonymous one.
Nice.
Thank you. There are a couple new incentives. Last I checked, there is now a Starlight cookbook. It's a digital PDF download. I believe it's at the $20 tier. We still have our wonderful sticker sheets. Ooh, featuring all of our lovely characters. We are sadly down a character today. Tiffany will not be here. She is investigating some suspicious flower activity, as is one of her park ranger duties. But with all those announcements, I think we can go ahead and reintroduce our lovely cast. Let's go ahead and start with... I'm going to put Cher on the spot first.
Hey there, all. My name is Cher, pronouns she, her. I am a Black bisexual content creator and streamer, and one of the proud co-founders of Ladies of D&D. You can find me on Twitter as Gamer Cher and on Instagram and Twitch as That Gamer Cher. And today, I am playing your humble puffwing, Sky, like the big blue.
I love that so much. Every time you introduce Sky, it makes me so happy. We are going to go now to Trey.
Howdy. I'm Trey. I usually stream over on Nat One Fun. Tonight I will be playing Rusty, the elderly frog farmer who grows heart-shaped tomatoes, strawberries, and ube, thanks to Sky now.
Juicy
Winner
ube.
of the pie contest and the leaping contest.
Yes. Swept
Champion.
at that.
Yes, sir.
Amazing. Yeah, Rusty cleaned house at the leaping of the hop tops. Won both dancing bits and the pie contest. Amazing. And everyone else just got bragging rights, which apparently everyone found extremely hilarious. And last but not least, we have Kay.
Hi, I am Kay of the She and They variety. I am a queer Jewish tabletop streamer. I use she, they pronouns, and tonight I have the absolute privilege of playing Irock, a deerkin bed and breakfast owner of Oakbend, who has acquired a new housemate known as Eustace, the green saber-toothed ferret.
We stan Eustace.
We stan Eustace, who now lives atop the great fig tree.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Eustace is just so small, so ferocious.
Best life.
Will be excellent pest control for the garden.
I love it.
Adorable. And I am your storyteller, Rosie. I am a TTRPG variety and crafting streamer. Autumn in Oakbend is my first actual play outside of Prism's Edge. This is the first one where I did a cast and art and went kind of all out. And I am having a wonderful time with every minute of it in this wonderful cast. I think that's all we have for now. We are again down our lovely Tifley and Drawny. She had a prior engagement, but she will be back for next week's finale. I'm very excited for that because I want all of you to be here for that. I know. I mean, there's always more. There's more story if we ever wanted to, keep this going, but I only have the 4 episodes prepared. Someday we will continue Oakbend, revisit all these wonderful villagers, but we still have 2 more episodes, so don't get sad yet. With all that said, we are going to start tonight's episode of Autumn in Oakbend. Take it away, intro sequence. Hobbs almost crashed. Off to a strong start. All right. The weeks in between the leaping of the hop tops and the upcoming Feast of the Forge and Flame celebration are typically quiet ones. Many villagers and towns across the Verdant Isles take this time to rest and recuperate as they prepare for their end-of-year celebrations. As you begin your day at the bed and breakfast, you notice that rest and recuperation seem to be in short supply. Many of the villagers you see this morning have dark circles under their eyes, and you have seen more than a few of them yawning. You hear panicked muttering up ahead and spot Andros Care hustling down the street with a small plant cupped in their hands. "Stay with me, dear little star. Hold on. Oh me, oh my." They are so transfixed on the plant in their hands and seem to be heading towards Madge's greenhouse. You all do?
Oh my. Rusty. Are those? Well, okay, here's a question. Storyteller, do each of us also exhibit those same qualities of unrest, or are we relatively fine while others seem to be distressed?
You would be feeling the effects of it too. Throughout the town of Oakbend, the flower Starslight, which you had encountered a little bit in the bramble mess at the winery, they're used as nightlights and as sort of, I hesitate to use the word dream catchers, but as soothing sleep aids. And the town's supply of them has seemed to wilt in the past couple days.
Oh no. Oh no. Now, do we know, is there a way to do a check on the weather patterns, maybe, or some environmental factors that perhaps might point to why these plants are suffering so?
Let's take a look. I will have you roll. Possibly a noticing or gardening, whichever you would prefer.
Let's see. Well, I do have the occupational skill of noticing.
Ooh, and you just
So that
leveled
might,
up.
right. So that might help me quite a bit. I'm gonna go for the noticing. And hey,
Hey.
Starting
hey
off
y'all.
strong. Oh, I
Now
love that.
that's the way to start.
So you have been keeping a keen eye on the weather lately, especially as it starts to get a little bit colder. And you've had a couple frosty mornings, and you know that Starslight are a little bit fragile, finicky, but this seems particularly odd. Normally they hold up to this weather. It's not like it's different weather than you would expect for this time of year, but it almost seems unnatural how quickly the whole population of them is decaying.
Hmm. Interesting, interesting. And I take that to mean also that compared to previous years, then perhaps this time of the year is perhaps not quite so cold. Is that the sense that I'm getting?
Yeah, it feels about normal. I will say, given that amazing roll, that you have noticed, you recall just in the back of your mind noticing, because Starslight is such an integral part of life in Oakbend, that over the past couple years, the population of Starslight has been kind of not doing great, but nothing to this degree.
Mm, got it. Well, in turning to Rusty, Rusty, I don't believe I got enough sleep last night. I still feel, oh, oh, I still feel quite sleepy. I don't know what it is. What about yourself?
Yeah, I've been having a little trouble getting rest too, waking up over and over again. I can feel it in my body.
You know what I think might help us at least wake up a little more this morning? Probably some of Iraq's delicious chai tea. Iraq, how are you feeling this morning?
And I think you've come over to the B&B, and Iraq is still in this very fluffy robe, looking a little sleepy and tired, and they've got like at first you think there's like a sort of train on it, but it's just a Eustace wrapped around their sort of neck, hanging out, sleeping. Like Eustace is sleeping. And Iraq is like, oh yes, it is morning already. Rest is, I guess, not something on the cards lately. Oh, come in.
Oh
The
my
yawn.
my.
Fake
Yes.
yawning, making.
Oh my. Well,
He has just like
it
French press
seems.
chai tea.
Oh yes. Oh,
Nice.
that is just the absolute best. Oh, just the smell of it just perks me up just at least a little bit more right now. But Iraq, I'm worried about your patrons. Everyone seems to be suffering this type of tiredness that we are as well.
Yes, it seems. Most of my patrons I've noticed the last few days have just slept. Which honestly, like, if that's your vacation plans, I mean, good for you. I'm not gonna shame anyone, but sleeping usually guests are much more excited about activities or seeing things in Oakbend, going to the winery. Uh, but they've mostly just been sleeping. In fact, they all slept through breakfast this morning, and he like looks and you see that like lavishly done. Well, not like lavish in the sense of like fancy, but just so full of just like absolute pastries and fresh fruits and vegetables all done up, just all there. But not a single bit has been eaten.
Dearie me. Well, I know you always put so much great effort into your spreads. I mean, it just looks wonderful as always. Please don't take that as any slight. I feel like something else is amiss here. Why, I was thinking, I've been seeing the starlights around town by chance, and usually they have that lovely soothing quality that everyone enjoys. But I don't know, I've seen less and less of them populating the area around town. I don't know exactly what might be the cause there, but I'm willing to bet that something is tied in with that.
I would agree. I think the best bet, Rusty, the only person I know that is better with greenery and growing than yourself is Madge. So perhaps a visit to their greenhouse will be in order.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, Iraq.
That is an excellent idea. Why, I just saw Andros marching that way not a few moments ago. I think it's a good idea.
As well, then Iraq will take like a larger than average picnic basket and just put most of the stuff in there, but he'll still leave a few plates with like some muffins and things, like a note like, shall you wake? I have gone to investigate some things. Here be muffins. And just here be muffins.
I love that.
And yeah. And we'll be like, all right, Eustace, and he'll just like gently nudge Eustace awake. Do you wish to accompany us, or shall you hold down the fort?
Here. And Eustace just kind of finds a nice little nook to cuddle and fall asleep in, getting cozy.
All right, I fully trust the B&B under your direction. Should anything happen or marauders occur, I expect you to protect the house.
And you almost see a little sleepy ferret salute at a Eustace. He understands.
And yeah, he's got this giant picnic basket. We'll go.
Amazing. So it's not a very far walk from the bed and breakfast to Madge's greenhouse. It's just across the bridge. And as you arrive, you see that it's a very large greenhouse. This is Madge's pride. And you know that she had been hoping to get the winnings from the pie contest to fix a couple of the windows. Those have since been fixed with some help from the locals. You see some cultivars, including ice moss and winter's ivy, in preparation for the upcoming winter festivals, as well as an unopened box marked for decorations and other paraphernalia for the upcoming Feast of Forge and Fire. As you step inside the greenhouse, you get this waft of steamy, humid air, as you would walking into a greenhouse. It is comforting considering the chill that's in the air outside, and it is bursting with greenery. Madge takes so much pride in everything that they do within this greenhouse, and you see that there's almost a line to talk with her, including several of the villagers, Andros Care being the one that you had seen, and they're all holding little pots of stars light, some in better or worse shape than others, some glowing ever so faintly blue, that lovely blue that they're known for. Most of them not doing so great.
No.
That's it. Yeah, you walk in, Madge immediately. She's talking through some of them, comes over and says, "Don't tell me your stars lights aren't doing well either." They look a little bit frazzled at the state of affairs. This is not something they have encountered in their time in Oakbend.
Rusty,
my.
as a farmer, you're probably best apt to describe the status of your starlights and what we're seeing.
Right, well, they've been wilting lately, and try as I might to tend to them, I just can't seem to revivify them. I don't know. They're just, it's like
Oh,
they're,
I have no idea what could be going wrong with them. They're finicky things, but they've never gone this sideways. Now, I do know, aside from the care of them, which I've given everyone excellent care instructions throughout my years here in Oakbend, so they've never had an issue until this year, but they are slightly empathetic, if you can believe such a thing, out of a flower. So I don't know if it's just the townspeople that are a bit down, or if the flowers themselves are a bit down over something, but it's just a mess. I really don't know what to do. I haven't had time to prepare for the next holiday, much less get over the last holiday, and with all of this happening, I've just been so busy, and Madge starts to kind of go into a spiral of busyness and all the things on their plate.
Madge, perhaps?
Madge, my dear, I wonder, are your own starlights behaving the same? Or I know that you keep an environment here in the greenhouse so meticulously. I can't imagine that they would be just as it would be surprising to me to know that they're suffering the same, considering that you have such a well cultivated environment to near perfection.
Oh, well, and they gestured to a couple rows that you would recognize as Starlight's flowers, and they're doing better than most of the other peoples that you've seen come in, but they're still looking a little sad. The leaves are a little droopy. The glow isn't at that bright, bright blue that you're used to. And it looks like every ounce of care has been put in. She's got watering systems, and you can see bags of plant food and different poultices mixed up. They have put everything into this that they possibly can, and they still aren't doing so great. And
I think.
sorry, go ahead.
No, you go for it.
As Madge gestures to them, they say, "There's nothing physically wrong. I've done test after test after test. The soil is perfect. The humidity is perfect. The light is perfect. I have done everything physically possible. They should be flourishing. There's no reason for them to be acting this way."
Well, why don't we just ask them? And I think Irok is literally just going to bend down towards one of these rows and say, "Excuse me, Starlight," to one that's a little more droopy than the others.
Mm-hmm.
It seems you're in quite a predicament, as is all of your fellows. You sort of look around the room to like the plant Andros is holding and all the others. Um, if you could give us some insight to your plight, then maybe we could amend it, and therefore your nightly routine would no longer be impeded.
Go ahead and roll Flora Friendship. I love that Irok's like first instinct is to talk to all the plants.
Always talk to plants. They're better than people. That is a 13.
It is. You approach this plant, greet it, talk to it, and you don't really get much of a sense off of it other than the ever so slight sense of sadness. Just a little like ping of, I'm not comfortable, I'm upset.
Oh, that's quite a worry. And I like gently pet a petal as
Aw.
if I'm like giving like a reassuring like someone's arm.
I am
Uh,
doing a chaos roll. One sec.
Dear,
As you
please
pet the
don't let
petal,
that
one of
petal
them
fall
falls
off.
off.
Oh no!
God, Irock looks like he
Wow.
murdered like a puppy. He's like, oh my god. His face
Oh.
just crestfallen. Oh my dear.
Oh
They're
my! Oh,
they're
I'm
very
so
sad.
sorry.
Rosie, you're fine.
oh,
He looks. They're sad. They're so very sad. They're falling apart.
oh my
Well, I
dear!
would too if, and this is mad shocking, I would too if everyone around me was also falling apart, and just kind of gestures to all the sad plants, not just the Starslight. All the other plants in this greenhouse are flourishing because Madge takes such excellent care. And like she gestures to all of them, she's like, I can't figure out what would be affecting them this way. I did send Tithly out to go check the wild populations of Starslight, so hopefully she'll be back with some insight, but it really does seem like the ones in town are just really in a bad way.
Madge, you mentioned that you're doing a lot right now, right? You're very busy.
Oh yes, especially with all of this and everyone coming to me for help, I really haven't had time to do much else.
Were you very busy before the Starlights started to have issues?
No busier than normal. I was prepping for the Feast of Forge and Flame. I mean, you can see the box of decorations outside. I haven't had time to get to it now, but I had been prepping for our display for the winter holidays.
Well, I imagine that everyone has been preparing themselves for the next holiday as well, and these times of the year can be very, very busy. Sometimes a little frustrating. As the days tend to shorten, it almost seems like you run out of hours in the day to be able to complete everything that you'd like to.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
well, I wonder, perhaps, perhaps there's something we can do as a community. Now, most of our residents are very helpful to each other, especially when there's a special need. But I think we all have a tendency to carry the weight of things on our backs, just singularly, for the most part. And perhaps there's a missed opportunity there to extend even more help to each other. What do you say, Madge? At least for you right now, what's something that maybe we can take off of your plate for today?
Oh, and you see them kind of think on it. This is the first sort of like pause they've had over the past 2 days. Well, I would love some help getting the greenhouse properly decked out for the upcoming holiday, if you wouldn't mind putting up some decorations.
Why, that sounds like a wonderful idea. What do you two think?
Well, I think that sounds like a good old time.
I think that's a wonderful idea. And in fact, while we do that, and IROC is going to reach into that big picnic basket they've had. They'll pull out a little thermos that's got some chai tea in it that they French pressed, as well as there's like one of those mixed berry sort of muffin. And then there's like pastry, but it's like very haphazardly shaped, if you could even call it shaped. It's honestly more of a dome that's kind of been like pushed sideways. He's like, and Eustace shaped this one himself. It's just like it's got little paw prints in it, as if like a little plate in it. And it's just like a
Amazing.
big blob of dough next to like
Look
the
at
most like
that.
beautiful scone. Like
That's
I've
the
got
best.
I've got a great name for that one, Ira.
Oh,
You should call those your new paw print empanadas. Oh, it's
there's
just
nothing inside to make
amazing.
it an empanada, but I do like the name. As he like hands these things over to Madge, he's like, "You have a spot of a snack, some chai tea, and some of these while we set up decorations."
And you see
Indeed.
Madge
Oh,
sit down, set out the treats and everything. And there are other villagers here, and they kind of like poke around the basket too. Because they've all
There's so
been a
many of you.
little stressed.
Yeah, everyone seems here, and he'll pull out like a larger thermos with like little magnifying cups that we'll just pull off the top,
Mm.
and then lay out just like there's just a bunch of these balls, man. That just they all they're all relatively the same but different, because they're just giant blobs with like small little paw prints in it. Some
Oh
got
my
pushed a little bit more. Maybe it looks like he kind of like used his body to actually, which I don't know how help.
Little ferret rolling pin.
He like tried to like roll on it, so like one of them's like half flattened out. Like you may have to pick a little green hair out, but it happens.
Fiber.
Fiber.
it's funny you say ferret, but I have like
Is that his
National
favorite to tease, or-
Geographic shots of otters in my mind because otters are very handy like that with their hands.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
and of course, Sky also reaches into her bag, and she has a tendency to always have snacks, seeds, and raisins, nuts, that sort of thing, and a bit of a trail mix. And so she has a little nice little bundle of it that she goes ahead, she takes out, and if Madge has maybe maybe she'll turn like a low bowl of a pot into a serving bowl for it, and have that spread on a lovely cloth
Mhm.
for folks to pick and eat from as they go through. Now, y'all, don't forget, you also have some snacks here as well as we work, just to keep your energy going.
And you see the villagers, there's not been a good night's sleep over let's say about the past week, especially the past 2 nights. And you see the shoulders relax. Everyone's finally like kind of taking a breath and getting out of that panic and enjoying this sort of quiet moment to reset, recoup, eat a little bit of something, because who knows if they've had breakfast yet, as you all go outside and attempt to decorate the greenhouse.
And at the risk of potentially invoking uh, a song or two, I think I would love if Sky would be able to roll. I guess it's kind of a morality check, to raise morale as we go. I think if Rusty has a handle on helping folks to get organized and watch out for the plants and make sure, okay, if you're going to hang decorations in a certain part of the nursery, you want to make sure that there's not too much shade over this plant and such,
Right.
to make sure that everyone is keeping proper care of the plants in and around the establishment. I think Sky would more than likely strike up a song, 99 flowers on the wall, 99 flowers to decorate.
So I'm going to have Sky
terrible
roll the
song.
arts. Roll an
Oh my
arts.
gosh. Well, let's just say I hope I roll better than the song I just made up. Let's hope
Oh
for
no, it's
that.
cute.
Here we
Great.
go.
It was wonderful. Beautiful.
Okay.
You are inspiring
Incredible.
everyone. And I would like
Right.
let's see, between Irok and Rusty, who would like to direct where the decorations go and who would like to actually hang them up?
I think I might have I can hop up and hang direct decorations
Yeah,
and
and
stuff.
I am also event planning is an occupation for me.
Excellent.
So I think we can sort of roll that into the decorating as a whole thing.
All right. So, Rusty, roll a bustle check, and Irok roll an event planning check. Please and
I
thank you. Oh
cannot
my
Oh,
God.
like to appreciate
Markies.
You have an eye for
Yeah, that's
decorating.
20.
Man.
That is 24.
Indeed.
IROC knows what IROC is doing. They are just making this greenhouse fabulous.
Amazing.
Straight bustle?
Yeah, bustle, it is an
Got it.
attribute. Yeah. Excellent.
Not
So,
bad.
given IROC's amazing, detailed layout, given this box of
IROC
decorations.
pulls a vision board out of absolutely nowhere.
Of course they do. Amazing. You've never seen these decorations, but you just had a board ready
Had
to
a vision
go.
board ready.
And
I have one for every place in this entire town.
I love it so much. I need you to know what the DCs were on that. It was a 10 and a 12. So,
Wow.
you all knocked it out of the
the
park.
park.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Oh my gosh. The higher the roll, the more dashing looking the holiday decorations are. So you have just gone all out. It looks amazing. You're being caroled by the wonderful sky. Everyone's kind of like, it's becoming almost its own party as this is going on. And people's spirits are definitely improving. And you can see Madge smile this big, toothy, snootling smile. And everyone just seems to be in a little bit of a better mood. Well done. And as you've put together all the decorations, you do see Madge come over to you, having had a snack, having had a little bit of a break, and they hand you a potted stars light. This is one of the better ones. It's still looking a little, but they hand it to you and say, if you can figure out what's wrong and fix it, I bet you'll see this little flower perk up a bit. Maybe straighten up, stop losing leaves, glow. You know what a proper stars light is supposed to do. If you can get it to start shining bright enough, take it up to Memory Hill. There's a lot of sorrow there, but also a lot of memories. I think once it's ready, it'll do well there. And Madge kind of gives one last endearing look to this plant before handing it off to you, whoever wants to have custody of this plant.
IROC looks a little traumatized and does not go to take it.
I'll take it.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, Rusty, you now have one Stars Light plant in a little pot. And at this moment, as everyone's sort of in this festive pre-holiday mood with all these wonderful decorations up, a little bit of a smorgasbord going in the greenhouse, you see Mayor Montesquieu approach with his own very sad-looking Stars Light plant. He's looking dapper as always, dressed as a mayor should be, in a nice waistcoat, pressed slacks, loafers, but he looks a little more tired than everyone else. I mean, running a town isn't easy, but just especially with the sleepless past 2 nights. And as he comes up to the greenhouse, he does look to be approaching Madge to make sense of what's happening to the Stars Light plant. It sees you all with your own Stars Light plant that's doing a little bit better because it's not as dead and there's a little bit of happiness going on here. And he goes, oh, how did you get it to glow like that?
Oh, well, Mr. Mayor, I do believe that just as these plants are very soothing to all of us, I think in turn they need a little extra love and care in return. Now, that goes beyond, just sunlight and water. We've actually been doing quite festive things here, as you can see. Many hands make light the work. And, just breaking out into a bit of song now and again helps to raise the spirits, don't you think?
And he smiles a bit weakly and goes, well, it does seem rather festive and nice here. And he does a big stretch and yawn.
Oh, my dear me. Oh, don't do that. Oh,
Mayor,
quiet and tape.
Yes.
we spoke with Madge. And she said the Stars Light are quite empathetic. And so
Yes.
there might be a bit of a cloud over the city, or at least over some of the people here. Have you been hearing anything about, maybe the changing of the season affecting people's moods or people going through rough times?
Well, always this time of year, and he's like still yawning. People tend to get a little bit quieter, a little bit more to themselves. But this seems particularly uh, unusual, and then like he pinches the bridge of his nose. I'm sorry. I'm doing my best to accommodate everything that's happening. My children, they're very small. They still rely on the star's light to go to sleep, and they haven't been sleeping, so I haven't been sleeping, and I'm trying to get to the bottom of it so we can all get back to our normal routines. I have Cassiopeia at the house watching them, trying to get them to nap. It's just
So
a mess.
I've noticed that Tabby and Winston have not been appearing to do chores at the B&B. I was a little worried, but now, still worried, but I'm glad to see that everything is not as hazardous as it could be.
Right, it's nothing to worry about, I don't think, until it is something to worry about. And I mean, it is just me. I'm so glad for Cassiopeia helping, but the children don't have their mother, and it's just me, and I don't know really what to do. I'm trying to solve this as well as taking care of the town. And Madge, do you have anything that can help with these?
What we could find best next, I know I'm not Madge, and you called for Madge, but is if we go to your house with you, with our plant that's doing a little better off, and he like vaguely gestures to where Rusty has the plant, and perhaps if we help to coax the children to sleep, it will help, and it will alleviate some of your stress, and you can get some sleep
That would
and
be
get more work
grand.
done.
I do think that Cassiopeia was taking the children to the library for a story time. It was an effort put on by the lovely, lovely librarians to sort of soothe the kids, brighten spirits, and get some sleep, just put them to bed for a little bit. Maybe they could all nap. I know sometimes they have nap time at the academy. Maybe it would work for the library. I know school's out for the holiday breaks because we have this whole month where it's supposed to be festive and leading up to them. And he just kind of like starts to nod off like in front of you.
Oh,
Oh,
I
Mr. Mayor,
Hmm.
come.
Yes. Oh, sorry about that.
It's quite all right. I could tell from your story that you've been very involved with everything going on with your schedule and your children's schedule, and well, I wonder. And storyteller,
Mhm.
if Sky looks around, obviously she knows everyone's families and such. Does she notice that this condition is more prevalent in folks who have children versus not? Is there some common thread that she's noticing?
I will give
Uh,
you this for free. Everyone looks real tired, but especially the people with young children that rely on the star's light to sleep. Because adults are easy enough to get to sleep without as much aid. It's comforting, it's soothing, but it's not a necessity. For the kids of Oakbend, it is for a lot of them to get to bed.
mm,
So there's been a lot of, and you've probably heard it in the night coming over yonder Ponder Lake, but there have been several cries out in the night as kids get frustrated or can't sleep or wake up with a start. It has been a pretty rough past 2 days for those with small children.
wow, wow. I
and
see. Well, y'all, I'm not quite sure. Besides, I suppose maybe bringing forth a bit of song for these plants. I don't know what else we could readily do.
I think that what we can do is we can show the plants empathy by making their work a little lighter so they can recharge. Why don't, the mayor you mentioned that your children, perhaps even more, if we can get everyone to bring their children to the library, and we can get all the children to rest even without that, perhaps we can make a false version of the light or a duplicate of some sort through other means. And we can get the children to rest. It will help give a break to the plants so they can recharge themselves. We rely on them, especially the children, so heavily that we forget at times that they too need refreshment. They cannot sleep because they ate us during our sleep. What if we gave them a break?
That sounds like a marvelous idea.
And it also gives the mayor a break and all the other parents.
That sounds wonderful. Well, the library is on the way back to my home, so I can at least take you there, then maybe go and get some rest myself. Ugh.
Oh, I
seems to be
do
a good idea.
concur. In my travels around different parts of the world, there's something very similar that I've heard about in different regions. They call it a siesta, I believe. Yes, a siesta.
Siesta.
And it's such a great resting period that helps to recharge everyone.
I will have to let the wellness center know about these. Those sound wonderfully refreshing and good for the mind and body. Sorry, Kay.
You're fine.
You got
I'm
her
just
like
super
4
sus-
times.
I'm just like super susceptible. If someone yawns, I yawn back.
Mhm.
You're all
Thank
good.
you. Oh my god.
Oh, it was quite real just then, that exchange between you and I, so we're fine.
You've
But,
got Kay like 4 times.
Oh my god. Revenge because you got me the first time.
That
oh
is true.
boy.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
boy.
I mean, okay, back.
So we will follow to the
I'm
mayor's
gonna stop
residence.
it. I am going to stop and pick up Eustace, though.
Oh, of course. Okay, so you take a detour because you're not far from the greenhouse. Go.
Yeah.
You pick up Eustace, who's still kind of cuddled. I'm gonna say at this point, how many people have woken up at the bed and breakfast? One.
Oh no.
There's one very groggy looking puffwing kind of picking at a muffin, and Eustace is watching them very determinedly. But
Good job, Eustace. That's a
That's all.
guess, though, but the theory is there. And I'll take Eustace. And I'm also gonna lean down because I have a lot of plants and other flora that grow within my menagerie. And I think I have probably some powdered pea flower.
ooh.
And I'm just going to take a jug of that with me as well.
Love it, love it. And you all make your way to the library. And the library is situated kind of at the top of the map across from the manor, I believe, if I'm reading that correctly. I should know this map. There's only like 20 locations. But it is here.
Got
So
it.
it's right across from the mayoral manor. So Mayor Montesquieu walks you through town, kind of up from the greenhouse on this sort of windy road up through town. And you do pass by other villagers that are equally tired. Some of the businesses you notice are opening later than normal, but there doesn't seem to be a ton of mind, as most people aren't awake yet to be customers.
Right.
Right.
And as we go, is it to my understanding that as we pass by different plants and trees for that matter, as we go, all other flora are doing all right?
Roll
As
in
opposed to
noticing.
the starlight?
Yeah. Go
Can I
ahead,
also
roll.
roll?
Can we
Sorry?
all do that?
Can I also roll?
Yeah,
Can
please.
we all roll?
Yeah, everyone roll. Notice the plants.
All right.
Oh.
Decent.
Oh.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay.
Iraq, you are kind of cooing over Eustace, having a little mini conversation with him as you
sleepy.
go up through the library. He's like conveying in squeaks and squeals. that he did a very good job
Mission
keeping an
report.
eye. Yeah, a little debriefing. Rusty, you were, I don't know what's going on. Maybe you're just
I think
tired.
Rusty is like standing and his eyes are closed and his head is starting to
Oh.
drop and he's doing anything where he's nodding off as he's
Oh,
walking.
oh, Rusty.
And he's just like rubbed his
Oh.
eyes.
Oh. Sky, you look around as you're going down this path, and Oakbend is a very verdant town. There's lots of plant life, lots of trees. All other plant life seems to be doing relatively well. I mean, it's mid to late-ish autumn, so the trees have lost or are losing their leaves, but nothing looks decaying or dying or dead. It just looks like normal fall foliage.
Interesting. Oh, where are you, Rusty? Oh, there you are. Probably still walking forward, noticing these things and thinking that Rusty is right there next to her, but then turns and sees that he's still about 10 paces back. So she goes back to him and gently just caresses his cheek and Rusty, wake up, my dear.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all right. It's all right. I think something had occurred to me, Rusty. All of the other flora and are doing just fine, and the starlights. They seem to carry such big responsibility. They are, after all, our most important plant to help soothe and comfort us. And I wonder, perhaps either yourself or Ira could probably talk to the plants and the other plants and have them maybe help us to encourage the starlights to come back to their normal vibrancy. Well, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree with you, Sky. I think maybe the Starlight might just need some rest of its own. They hold such a high place and perform so much labor for us. I think maybe they just need a bit of soothing. Maybe I don't know. Maybe playing music for them, or
Oh,
I'll hold
that's
up the little stars light,
oh,
and then
that's a
actually
lovely idea.
I'll set the stars light on the ground in the pot,
Hmm?
and then I'll just sort of get down on my stomach and put my arms like this and lay and just with it just looking right at it, and I'll just start whistling a little
Oh.
low tune to it.
This is adorable. Go ahead and roll. What are we going to call this? Either the arts. There's got to be something a little bit more nuanced. It might just be the arts check.
Let's do it.
Arts or flora friendship, whatever Rusty would prefer.
Ooh, that would be a good one, I
I'll do
think.
Flora friendship. Oh,
Oh, you have a point of inspiration
Rusty.
if you want it.
Oh, I will do that. I will do that. Actually.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Now is the time. Yes.
So you whistle this little tune, and it's a song, one of your favorite songs that you know super well. It's one that you sometimes whistle or sing when you're tending the fields or just when you want a little bit of comfort. It's nostalgic, it's sweet,
I think
and
it's a song that Rusty's mom used to sing to him when he was having trouble sleeping.
oh my gosh, y'all are too cute. My heart. So you whistle this more or less lullaby to the stars light, and you do see a little bit more of a glow. It doesn't necessarily perk up, but it does seem to be responding to what you're doing. Just a little bit, but it's better than nothing.
Well, that's
Sky.
wonderful. Yes.
And I walked probably like a few paces forward, having not realized what was going on. Perhaps you could make a call out to the town to let them know to bring all the children to the library.
Indeed, I can. Indeed, I can. And I think Sky can fly pretty quickly. all around the town. I don't know that. Well, actually, she has parchment and ink with her.
Ooh.
So I think she can quickly sketch a message or two, on small little slips of paper, at least big enough to drop a couple every now and again, every few minutes, and just at the top of her lungs just call out and shout almost like she's a barker, at a fair. uh hear ye, all residents of Oakbend, help us to help our friends the Starlights. Talk to them, sing to them, show them love, y'all. You hear? So as she flies, and then she'll probably some of those messages will be the same message, maybe something inspirational, as far as prompts like, show love to the flowers that love us, or some such like this, and just distribute those flyers as she goes.
I love that. I'm going to have Sky roll a vigor check to see how quickly this gets done, how long she's able to stay up in the air.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, pray, y'all. Come on. Come on. Okay.
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 Little tired because Sky hasn't slept super well either, but you get the message across, and you do see, kind of sleepily, a lot of people grabbing the flyers out of the air. You do see a lot of the parents with kids heading to the library. Word of a story time has reached pretty much everyone's ears. It's not a big town. And you have been already making your way there with the mayor, and he kind of cuts off to go to his house and says, "Best of luck. Maybe we can get this settled. It does seem like this is in good hands. I'm gonna go take a little siesta." Yes. He goes into
All
the
right.
mayoral manor.
Yep. And just wide circles flying around. And as she sees folks making their way towards the library, she'll come back to her friends as they approach the library, and alight and say, "Well, I put the word out to as many folks as I could. I hope everyone brings their best effort, because these plants are so important to us, as all plants are."
And you see people again, and they're smiling, acknowledging the message, and some of them are holding their own stars light. Most are just getting their kids to the library. As you enter the library, you see our lovely head librarian, Ms. B. Ellett, a very small floor drop, very wizened, old, kind of hair at odd angles. The wings are a little bit wilty. She probably hasn't flown in years. Thick glasses, and just very comfy looking knit clothing and a tweed skirt. And she runs up to you as a group of children have assembled in front of what looks to be a sort of makeshift puppet stage, and says, where is it? Where is it? "Oh, thank the good fortune. I was so worried that you wouldn't show up. These children just will not sit still for much longer. All of the puppets that you requested are ready. Children, we have our puppeteers here."
Oh.
Are we going to do a puppet show?
Oh. I don't remember that we had signed up for it, but
It's not my
perhaps
plan,
it
but
would help the children to have a fun little story.
Are you
What do
sure?
you say?
You do look like fine puppeteers.
Well,
She's like
Puppeteer.
staring
hope-
super.
yes. Well, I do hope that your confidence in us carries over to our actual faculties. What do you say, Rusty? Come on then.
He says, Iraq, do you have any more of that chai?
Yeah, yes. And I'm gonna go pull out like another thermos from a picnic
Okay.
basket.
Just need something to warm my insides. I'm still pretty
Yes,
tired.
yes. In
Oh,
fact, actually, Miss, I do have a special show to go with the special drink to go with the show for the children.
oh, splendid, splendid. You really did come prepared.
Yes, yes. Do you have a hot or a warm water pitcher?
I'm sure we can get something together. And you see her kind of bustle around, and she does kind of bring this terracotta like clay pitcher from around the corner, and you see a sort of glow of magic from her hands, and suddenly it is steaming. Will this
A little
do?
less hot than that because these are children, but good idea.
Okay, and then you see the glow kind of diminish a little, and the steam lessens. I mean, it'll take a little while to cool down, but it's just, yes.
Yes, yes, yes. And he'll take some of the blue pea powder as well as flowers that are like mixed together, and he'll drop it into it as the powder and the flowers start to almost, I sort of put this liquid, it turns into like a nice soft blue.
That is wondrous. I rock, you've done it again. You have such amazing things come out of that garden.
I like weird things. And
Yes, so do I.
yes, yes,
Oh,
I know.
Iraq, you're so modest. He has the best tea bombs ever, and you should see the array of teas that he's able to come up with in a snap. It's really amazing.
Oh, quite, quite. I've been to the bed and breakfast a couple times over my many years, and it's always a wonder seeing what comes out of that garden. And you too, Rusty, with those purple potatoes. You really do have something for some fascinating
ube.
colors.
Those are ube,
Ube.
they're not the same thing.
Interesting.
Iraq immediately stands up for Rusty. It's
I
like,
do think
"No,
we have a book on that. And she sort of like goes off to
Meanders, okay.
find a book to research ube.
All right, so we'll send this out to the children, and the liquid blue, it should help calm them a bit.
You think
And
that'll
then
be enough for all the children?
Uh, I think it's a good start to lulling them into the right mood.
Well,
I
if
was
they have
also
some more,
thinking, Mhm.
if they have some more pictures, I could duplicate that tea for you.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Use
And I
that
just like
kitchen magic.
Irock just behold, like no issue, just like walks into the back where this picture came from and gets another one. Just doesn't
Sweet.
even. She's busy searching juicy ube.
Yes, she is.
Agree. And I
I'll take.
think, oh, go ahead, Rusty.
Oh, I was gonna say I'll take the stars light that's in the pot that I have. I'll just place it like on a table somewhere, and then I'll take the pitcher that's full of water and tea, and I'll sort of smell it, and he just gets this big smile on his face, and then he'll look over to the other pot and just sort of move his finger like this, and the other pitcher will just start filling with that same tea.
And because it is magic, like magic, the pitcher fills up with steaming, perfectly duplicated butterfly pea flower tea. It
He's
is.
just humming. He's just humming his mom's lullaby to himself.
The kids are watching you in utter amazement. They were fixated on the stage, but they have you have a stars light that's not completely dead. Two, you just did magic. And the tea itself looks like magic because it is blue, and who's had blue tea? But overall, the kids are just enraptured with you all. All attention is on you three.
I just wink at him.
So
All right now, y'all. Now, if everyone can line up in 2 lines and come on and get your cup of tea. No pushing, no shoving. Yeah, there we are. And just guiding like
air traffic control.
just
traffic control.
Why isn't there like a minding kids skill? We need that.
right. Child handling.
Child handling.
That's fauna friendship, isn't it?
Yeah, we're gonna call that just for fun. Do a fauna friendship.
Oh God. Oh no. Oh no. This is where she rolls a natural one. Wait, let's see.
You got inspiration.
Fauna friendship.
Fauna
correct?
friendship,
Okay.
yes, please.
All right.
Do it. I believe in you.
Okay. okay.
Hey.
bad.
It's
bad.
not too bad.
The
It's
kids
12
are a
out of
little
10.
disorganized, not because they're rowdy, because they're so tired. So they're having a little
Sure.
trouble
Aw.
processing, like getting into 2 straight lines.
Mhm.
When they
Oh,
get
that's
there,
weird.
The lines
Yeah.
don't have to be straight, children. You can zig and you can zag as much as you want.
they kind of like smile at that, like, oh, we don't have to follow the rules this one time.
I'm just imagining my little sister waking up for school, like rubbing her eyes, all
Aw.
tired.
Kids are
But-
so cute.
Children, kids, small
Mhm.
beings.
Little baby.
We must understand that while we all want tea ourselves, we should also be thoughtful of others. And he's going to gently nudge Eustace with like a little trick that he's taught Eustace. And so I imagine that Eustace is going to putter down with this tiny little like wooden ladle and just scoop a little bit of the tea and walk it over to the starlight plant and give the starlight the first cup of tea. We have to think of those that help us as well and help them too.
And the kids like kind of sleepily look from you to Eustace, which is a sight, to Eustace with a ladle.
A tiny ladle.
And they're like fascinated, and that you get the sense that a lot of them understand the point you're trying to convey. Like, oh, okay, that makes sense. We need to help others to help ourselves. That's how we all keep the village going.
And to
Very
And
good.
to
then
that end, I think that if we do, in fact, continue on to put on that puppet show, there are 2 talents, I think, that would be very helpful for Sky to contribute here. It would be both her local law
Mhm.
and the arts. So,
Ooh,
in her travels, I'd like to imagine that Sky has definitely seen a puppet show put on before.
absolutely.
And if not in Oakbend, in other towns that she's visited. And so, with some of that knowledge, and perhaps in light of recent events in the town, I think Sky would huddle Irock and Rusty and say, "Okay, I
Iris is holding Eustace
remember."
into the huddle.
Yes,
Come on, Eustace.
yes, yeah. All of a sudden, you see this little curly face kind of come into frame, like, "Yes, you too, Eustace. You're gonna help out very well with this." And I think Sky goes over a story briefly while we're in the huddle that we can bring to the stage, as it were. And I think this would be a short story or a series of stories about a small weasel that, or sorry, not weasel, ferret. Yes, sorry, my dear. I'm so sorry. Different species. Yes, ferret. A small ferret that journeys from one garden to the next, gets in a little bit of trouble, but at the end of things, ends up helping the folks whose gardens they may have disrupted.
So you see in front, like at the stage, as you've distributed the tea, you're getting ready to put on this play. There is the puppets available are a mushroom king puppet,
Okay.
a red fish
Okay.
wearing spectacles, a
Okay.
blue fish wearing spectacles,
Okay.
and a grouchy looking sparrow.
Wow. Okay.
Irock definitely goes for the Mushroom King.
Amazing. I am going to give you all 5 minutes off
Oh no.
the stream. We'll go to a break to come up with a beginning, middle, and end that you will then present.
Oh god.
Hey,
This is
It's
my
a
worst
challenge.
exciting group challenge. Here we go.
We will be back in just a few minutes with a wonderful play to entertain and soothe the children of Oakbend. See you all in just a little bit. Right. We are back, and our players have set the stage for a wonderful puppet show. Take
And
it
so-
away.
Yes, and so we see There's like it's funny because like we're bent. You can see we're behind it. Like you can see Irock's horns a little from this puppet theater, but they're not visible. But you can slightly see the horns as suddenly a hand lifts and Eustace appears. Except Eustace is now wearing a tiny little hat and has got a tiny little sack. Except the sack has like a little pirate flag, sort of just like put quickly on with pencil, and he just starts going dun 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 dun, dun and going around to like the edge of the pages and plucking and plucking and plucking. And we watch as he goes along, children. And as this Weedle goes, we watch, and he's clearly masked with a hat and a pouch. He must be a robber. Dun dun dun. And this weasel goes, and he's robbing and taking. For the poor weasel, you see, he's just very hungry. But he knows not to have his own garden or how to work one himself. So he goes around stealing, for he is a lone weasel. But, as most of you, sadness starts to come. And you see like the Mushroom King sort of pop up. Oh no, my poor, poor citizens, your farms have been robbed, including even my own. And it's just like the most, like the voices don't change. I can't do like different voices. And it's just like, I can think this is a terrible, terrible tragedy. What will happen to our town as we lose our food? And Irock sort of like brings the Mushroom King down and gently lowers Eustace a little for the next part to start.
And then up pops Redfish. Oh, I just heard what the Mushroom King said. Maybe I need to go check my garden. Do, 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 do. And makes the redfish traipse over to the garden, and they stop in surprise. Ah, what has happened to my berries? Oh, my berries are missing. Oh no, let me check on my neighbor Bluefish. Do, 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 do. And then comes back into frame with Bluefish. Do, 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 do. Bluefish, something terrible has happened. Why, whatever do you mean, Redfish? Bluefish, my garden has been trespassed upon. My berries, my lovely berries, they're missing. Oh no! And and then Bluefish kind of turns out to the audience where the kids are and goes, "Oh no!" Like kind of gesturing, like, "Oh no!" Well, don't despair, Redfish. I, the Bluefish, shall come with you, and we will go to our neighbor, grouchy-looking Sparrow. Perhaps they know what's going on as well. I've noticed some squash missing as well. Something is going on here. Let's find out. Do, 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 do. More atmospheric music going.
Courtesy of Rusty.
Courtesy of Rusty.
Yes. Oh, and
Rusty's just sitting in the crowd of kids, sort of rocking back and forth and humming the music.
Amazing ambiance.
Yeah.
We continue. Grouchy Sparrow.
Okay.
Yes.
So this grouchy Sparrow, they're old and like he pulls out things, and you can see that Irock has again taken some of that like white chalk kind of thing to like put it on top of it to make the grouchy Sparrow look like it's older.
Looks old.
So it looks older, and it's like, I'm so grouchy and tired, and it takes so much effort for me to man my garden. Humph, humph, humph. And like looks to the kids to make the noise as well, like humph, humph, humph.
Humph, humph, humph.
And here comes Redfish, Bluefish.
Yeah, Redfish and Bluefish. What are you doing here?
Grouchy looking Sparrow.
That is my full entitled name.
Yes. Grouchy looking Sparrow, we've got a problem. Yes. Grouchy, remembering there's two different voices. Yes, grouchy looking Sparrow. We've noticed that some of our gardens are missing. what have you noticed today?
Well, I'm just getting out into my garden. You see, with my old, frail, and hollow sparrow bones, it takes quite a bit of effort to work my garden alone. And he goes out and he's like, "Hark! What is that but a weasel feasting upon my string beans?"
Total Muppet. Muppet. And
Weasel, you! What are you doing in my garden and these other gardens? This is terrible. And very gently, the sparrow hand goes over to the weasel and lifts it up. So it's being held up. "I shall take you to court." And suddenly scene transitions.
Above table. That sounds like the most IROC thing.
"I shall take you to
And you
court."
see a little
Amazing.
confusion from the kids, like, court.
Amazing.
The court's not normally in our kids' books. But they're still, like, enthralled.
And the
Bluefish
Mushroom King is
redfish.
now there. I, as king, now tell us your plights of all my people that this culprit has supposedly done.
Well, I double-checked my garden and my berries are gone. And yes, I double-checked my garden and my squash is missing.
And I see, and I caught this nefarious little fellow playing on my strings. And then the Mushroom King says, "I see. Little weasel, brave, strong, wonderful weasel. Why did you do..." I can't contain himself. Why did you do these things?
I think if
You were hungry, little weasel. Do you not have food of your own or a garden to tend? Oh, see, this little weasel is just hungry. Just like how sometimes we are all just hungry, and there's a flourish of this puppet.
That's
crowd.
right.
And
That's
sometimes when we're hungry and we don't have the support we need, we get hangry.
That's right. Well, Mushroom King, I think we know how to help this young
I
ferret.
believe we do.
Yes,
believe we do.
I agree.
In fact, I think I have a brilliant solution. Sparrow that's always looking misplaced. Is that your name? No, it's Sparrow that's always looking grumpy. Thank you. And the Mushroom King nods. Yes, yes. Put the weasel down and instead embrace hands with the weasel. And the little puppet takes the puppet hand, so they're holding hands. Just got it set up. From now on, weasel, you will be a member of our community. You will help this elder with their garden, for they are too fragile to themselves, but they are wise, so they will teach you what your young body is able to do, and that their wise mind knows, and you shall work companionably together. You will be fed, and he will be helped, and that is what proper community is.
If you learn from him how to grow food, then you'll never go hungry again. Did you?
And it just has all the holds up the puppet so that they can do the bow at the end.
Yes.
Your bow, Eustace, you were wonderful.
Yay!
And you see that a good half of the kids have dozed off.
Okay.
Despite the riveting tale.
Absolutely fantastic.
What a great play.
That was amazing.
I would love to have seen Rusty doze off right with them too. That would have just be the ultimate right there.
I think he might be asleep also, curled up with some kids.
Amazing. Yeah, how about in the last few moments the music
There's no
stopped.
music.
Yeah.
Yep.
We just kept going.
Just snoring.
Now,
Here's Scott going, yay, with the puppets. Silence, crickets. And then
There's a
our
double
rocket sky.
Woohoo, we learned.
God. And
That was
IROC will sort of-
Winston.
that was definitely Winston. Hi, Winston.
Hi,
Um,
how you doing?
Oh, Winston. All right, children, those of you that aren't asleep yet,
Mm-hmm.
we have to talk.
Mm.
Now, I know you enjoy the blue and the lighting calm of our little friend. But what did we learn today in our story? And he looks to Sky and he's got Eustace just hanging out.
Not to take people's food.
That is a good start, but what about the other lessons? What else did we learn?
We should help each other when we're going through tough stuff.
Exactly. And so
There
right
it
now,
is.
your poor little starlights are going through a hard stuff. So in fact, they need you to help them. And so it might seem scary or hard, but think that there are other plants and others that can support you through this, like the plant that's helping you in your tea, a little pea flower, and there's petals and stuff floating. It is the same blue that soothes you, just in a different light.
Oh. I will go and take care of my
And
starlight. When I go home, I'm gonna take a nap now.
okay,
Yes.
and I think Sky kind of zips
Yep.
over to make sure that the teacup doesn't hit the floor. It's like,
Ka-chunk! Yeah.
okay,
And Winston
we
just
got
kind of
it.
curls up next to his
Good
brother.
boy with
Aw.
Tabby.
He's already asleep, yeah.
Yep, I rock. I do believe our poor Rusty is already sleeping as well, and points over to Rusty,
Don't
probably
wake
in a
him. He
pile,
needs the
cut a
rest.
pile of little chillins just right now.
He's got the stars light in a pot just wrapped around in his arm.
Aw.
How does the starlight look?
Both of you, the two that are awake, roll a noticing check.
Please and thank you.
Yikes. 7.
Oh, please let it all be for,
It's not a
let's
good
see,
noticing.
noticing. Here we go. Come on. Come on. Come on. Okay,
Excellent.
13. All right.
Because you
all
have
right.
been paying attention throughout the day, towards this plant, you do see that it's maybe a little bit straighter up now. Looking a little healthier, still struggling a bit. The leaves, in particular, are still a little bit wilted, but it's looking a little better.
All right. Well,
I think we should let the plant and Rusty take a nap.
Oh.
yes, I totally agree. And I think that if we, once we've turned to each other and made that decision, if we can find, I'm so sorry, the name of the older woman,
Ms. B. Alette.
Miss Violette.
Mhm.
Quietly go over to her and say, I think it's a good idea if we let everyone take their siesta, as it were. And is it all right if we take a nap too? I'm so
You
sorry.
go over to where
Oh.
Ms. B is sitting and she's already fallen asleep.
Leave.
Just
Oh,
kind of
Miss B.
sitting up in her chair.
Miss B. Oh, okay. All right. Rock, I don't know about you, but I'm gonna perch right here and just take a little nap. And she'll probably do that thing that at least I know my
Aw.
birds do when they're ready to sleep. She kind of turns her neck around right
Yeah.
into the feathers, and just the beak and the feathers just just nuzzles asleep.
Amazing. IROC, are you dozing off as well for the little siesta
I
here?
don't think so. I
Okay.
think IROC is just going to make sure everyone else has a good siesta in case anyone wanders into the library. Quiet, the kids are sleeping.
Well, as most of the
he and
adults.
Eustace, yeah, he will be he and Eustace will stand guard together,
Oh.
ensure the others rest.
And as everyone takes their siesta, you're free to open any of the books, read something, occupy
yeah.
yourself. Yeah.
I think IROC will find a book about starlights.
Ooh, okay. Easy enough to
Nice.
find. You actually see that a bunch have been placed on like the main sort of checkout desk, as a lot of people are trying to figure out what's been going on. So they're you see a lot of them, whether it's general plant knowledge books or like Starlight specific books, are already like kind of opened and in a little bit of a disarray as people are trying to glean information. Is there anything specific you're trying to find out?
I think he is trying to figure out if Starlight bond to specific people or if they're just like vibe as a whole.
Interesting. Go ahead and roll. We're going to call this a minding details or local lore to see if you can find like specific mentions.
Flora friendship or gardening.
You're not talking to plants. I
No,
mean,
it's
these
fair.
were plants. They're
Oh,
slices of
They
tree,
were.
but I think that they're long
Alright.
since passed.
So it's focusing, or what was the other one?
You can do minding details or local lore.
Or local lore. Local lore, where are you? Local lore.
It is a wits skill.
Golly gee, I do a lot of wits things despite IROC not being very witty.
Ooh.
That is a 13.
You, with a 13, you do find a couple entries on how starlights are generally empathetic to the environment in which they're in. So it does vary greatly depending on their proximity to other beings. They're more influenced by sentient beings than other plants, though they can be affected by other plants having a difficult time. So that would lead you to know that based on Madge's starlights, where everything is perfect, all the other plants in their greenhouse are perfect, that it has to be more on the empathetic, sentient side of things. The article does detail that usually after a few years, because starlights will thrive in perpetuity as long as they're cared for, that they do eventually create bonds with their caretakers.
So the children are napping and everyone's all right. I think Rusty's sleeping. He's fine. He's watching them. You've got Sky sort of with the librarian. And having read this, IROC is going to look to Eustace and say, Eustace,
Mhm.
I think I have an idea, but we must be quick.
Uh-huh.
And I'll take Eustace and put him on my shoulder, and I will start making my way to the wellness center.
Ooh, okay, that is pretty close by to the library, so no issues there. Making me
So
pull up
IROC.
character sheets I don't have.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. This is great because we haven't been to the wellness center yet.
mm-hmm.
Who would be because the wellness center is based on a volunteer system. So
Ooh, okay.
who would be there today that's not asleep? Otherwise unoccupied. Give me one moment. It takes you a little while to walk there. It's a lovely walk, a little crisp outside.
He stops. Eustace has to do his business. This is business.
That's Eustace's business noise.
And by business, he's got a calculator out and a little phone,
Yes.
little suitcase, briefcase.
He's an accountant.
He's an accountant. He's a stockbroker,
Today,
actually.
you see at the front desk of the wellness center, it actually seems very quiet when you go in, and not as many of the candles are lit. Normally it is bright, it is meant to be a place of welcoming and warmth, and it seems a little dim in here, a little quiet. And you see at the front desk Jackson Akoa, who had participated in Leaping of the Hop Tops, Finfolk, and he's just kind of like barely awake, sleeping sort of on that front desk. Oh, Irok, is there anything we could do for you today? Are you doing well? Anything we could help you with?
I'm doing well, other than a little sleepy, but I have a conundrum, and I think it explains things to Degrout.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gonna go and he's gonna pull one of like the candles that are lit and go around and light the other candles in the room
Oh, thank you.
that aren't lit.
It totally slipped my mind. I did a few, then I just got so tired. I'm sorry.
Okay. In fact, I think we should talk more to each other about how that is okay. Perhaps a town meet. Oh,
Sorry.
a town meeting. A town meeting of all of us to talk about how it's okay to be tired and it's okay to need rest and to take a break. Might be what everyone needs because those that are empathetic, and he looks out like towards where perhaps a starlight plant is here in this building,
There are a
are
couple around. Yeah, and they're a little wilty.
are feeling downtrodden because we are not giving ourselves enough empathy and they have to do all the work. So I think we should remind everyone, put on a little event, a seminar
Ah.
to refresh themselves on minding the wellness.
Okay, I'm
Just
gonna
because it's the
get
holidays.
that set up. I know we have all these holidays going, but I think there could
No,
be a time to.
holidays can wait. Self-care must come first, or the holidays won't even be enjoyable. And that is the problem. Everyone is so busy between holiday to holiday that they can't take care of themselves.
And you see him ponder that, kind of put down the very organized group planner that is shared amongst whoever's volunteering for the day. And it was okay. I know that most people aren't available today. I bet you we could put something together tomorrow. I know we had, sorry, that puppet show at the library for the kids that got organized very quickly. I'm sure we could put something together by tomorrow. I know that there are so many people. Like, I was not supposed to be in today. I was kind of hoping I could sleep, but no one
Well,
showed up, so I had to show up.
Jackson,
Hmm?
I've got an idea.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do it tomorrow, and you and Iraq is going to walk over to the desk and is going to sort of reach under this other man and just lift him
Oh,
over the desk.
okay.
I would like you to go to the library, have some pea flower tea, and take a nap. And when Rusty and Sky wake up, let them know that I'm here, and I will mind the desk for the rest of the day.
Can you please put me down?
Oh, I'm still holding you. You're very muscled. And then he puts him down.
Okay, thank you. Go to the library. Tell Rusty
Go
and
to the library,
Scott.
nap.
Go to the library now. Oh, that sounds wonderful. Thank you.
Nap. Have some blue pea flower tea. It's a similar color to the starlights.
That sounds
And
wonderful.
once everyone wakes up, which you will do at the same exact time because that's how people work, then tell Rusty and Sky that I am here minding the desk and that tomorrow
Oh
we
my
will
God.
host a mindfulness. In fact, all holidays are on hold until we have our mindfulness event.
I like that. That's a good idea. And he's already on his way out, half asleep.
Well, Eustace, the office is ours.
And Eustace has already shredded some papers and made a nest.
Good job, Eustace. Hop over the desk to sit on the other side.
Amazing. And it's quiet. You're a little bit surprised. There are a couple people because the wellness center is everything for this town. It is counseling. It is the hospital. It is fire brigade. It is everything. And you notice that counseling services are a little bit quiet. There's a couple people in the back being tended to for sleep deprivation. But the staff, the one that's back there, Tremaine Alfor, what are you? A hop top, is kind of sleepily tending to, but making sure that they're cared for. And you can see that there is a schedule, and someone will be along to relieve both Tremaine, and someone will be along to relieve what would have been Jackson, but you're there now. Probably in the early afternoon. But for now, it's rather quiet. Until dun dun dun, you hear a very jarring tinkle 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 bell. It starts far away and then it comes closer as if it's kind of making that loop around the town. It passes by the wellness center and it's quite loud, and you can hear it heading in the direction of the library.
Oh, absolutely not. Ivrock immediately turns to his compatriot and says, "You must mind the desk, for children's naps are in danger." "Yes, Eustace, mind the desk.
Okay.
You've got this." And Ivrock is gonna go, and he's gonna start chasing after this this thing.
So as you exit the wellness center, I would like Sky and Rusty roll noticing to see if this wakes you up. On anything below a 10, you wake up.
Oh my.
gosh.
Let's see. Boom.
Not just and then noise. Yay.
Oh, I got an 8.
Oh,
God.
Okay.
Yes, the time we want the nat ones.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. So you two
Right.
also hear approaching you a very loud tinkle, 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 tinkle bell.
Oh, I was having the loveliest dream about chocolate cake. Oh,
Ooh.
what is that? Rusty? Oh,
Rusty hops up. "Oh, what is that noise?" And he'll run out to intercept whatever the noise is.
And you all kind of converge as this noise is sort of centered between the wellness center and the library, and you see before you a very familiar shade of blue, but it's a cart and not a bakery. And Miss Holly Tumbledown with a fresh cart of pastries and breads and cookies, ting-a-ling-a-ling in the bell on the cart, trying to drum up some business.
Holly. Oh, my dear.
Hi! What can I do for you? I got all these pastries I made this morning, but no one's buying them. And she's loud.
My dear, I'm so happy to see you. And oh, the goods that you have in your cart today just smell amazing. But I will have to ask you to please relinquish thy bell.
And she takes her hand. Well, how else am I supposed to drum up business if I can't tell people where I am at all times?
Well, here's the situation. It's difficult to drum up business if folks are hardly able to stay awake and hold hold their attention on you to even come and buy from you, my dear. Everybody has just been losing sleep with that loud bell.
Well, right, but that's why I thought maybe some sugar would get them up and peppy and not as tired. And she's on like a sugar rush. Like she has been digging into her own supply a little bit and is just on a complete like frenzied sugar high. It's the thing is, I made these real early, put them on the cart, forgot that there's a frost, and now some of them have ice but not icing, and it's a little bit strange, and no one's buying them, and I just want to get rid of some because I need to pay my bills. I need to pay for this cart that I just put together. And it's just going.
Dear Holly, here, let me have you understand something. Now, sugary sweets are an absolute favorite of mine, so please understand that I say this with love. A body cannot exist only on sugar, you see. Our bodies are made to settle down at the end of a good long day of hard work so that we are refreshed in the morning. The problem is, if you're ringing your bell from sun up to sundown, no one can get a proper amount of rest, including the poor children. We just came from the library, didn't we, y'all?
Absolutely.
Yes, and so we've been able to put the children into a nice nap so that they can at least wake up a little bit refreshed. But I'm telling you, even the adults around town, even us, my dear, you have to please, I beg you, please to give us a respite from this bell, and perhaps there's there's something else. There are other ways to drum up business, certainly.
It's been really hard. I just wanted customers. I want people to like what I do. And I've been really lonely since I moved here and I don't know what to do. And I've been trying real hard. And she's like on the verge of crying. And you could just see she's really worked up about not having anyone like see her this morning.
Sky definitely. Now, Sky stands 6 foot. I'm not quite sure how tall she stands.
She is 4'9". She is so tiny.
Oh, she's bite-sized. I love it. So Sky would just bend on over and wrap her in just the warmest feathery hug.
And you can feel kind of like the quick breathing and like verge of tears and a little bit of relaxing, but she is so worked up. She's just kind of like, I've only been here for about a year and I miss my friends so much. I thought moving here would be a fresh start and I thought it would be nice and I don't know what to do and I don't feel like anyone likes me here. And she's just like super, I thought the pie contest would help people to like me and she's just kind of melting in on herself a little bit.
Oh my. And Sky looks over to iRock and says, iRock, do your thing like I know you can.
Then iRock is going to sort of come over and like it's just like the gif of Alec Baldwin's character petting with the broom. It's just, that's like the level of feels you get as iRock sort of pats Holly on the shoulder and is like, Holly, I know it's rough. I myself only moved to town a year ago. And I think one thing that has helped me tremendously is seeking out opportunities to include others in my business by bringing forth the children and allowing them to work for pocket change, additionally rerouting certain things. But I think as hard as it is, especially as a business owner, ingenuity is what keeps us afloat. And so in a moment like today, where it's a little hard, perhaps it might help to instead take a look at your beautiful pastries, because they are beautiful, and say, today pastries were not the answer. Everyone is so sleepy and sugar won't help. But once they get a restful sleep today, bread pudding might be the answer to this chill. And you could take your wonderful pastries and chop them up and make a lovely custard and do a special. And you can go and take your beautiful doggie and put a little sign on her, let her run about the village with a sign that you're having a bread pudding special.
Daffodil does love to run around, doesn't she?
Daffodil does. And in fact, I was going to talk to you, but I've been so sleepy, about setting up some mutual play dates for Daffodil and Eustace.
Oh, you little wee one there! And she points to your shoulder, and Eustace has left.
You were on duty, good man. I mean, you're adorable.
It like kind of goes under your collar. And, like,
you must have been relieved from your station. I understand that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Eustace would never abandon his post without proper reinforcements.
Exactly, 100%.
And of course, I've also been helping out iRock with scheduling tours and helping folks to book reservations over at the bed and breakfast.
Yes, in fact.
You know, I wonder, iRock, perhaps, well, maybe we can help them by helping to sell the pastries. You know, at your place. I mean, you should see iRock's attention to detail and just beautiful planning around just the breakfast tables.
In fact, another great idea with tours is, what about a lesson plan? Perhaps you could set it up a couple times a week to have visitors come and learn how to make a specific pastry with you.
Oh, well, I'm not a great teacher, but I could certainly try, and it would get people into the bakery, but I really wanted the cart to work out, that way I could bring pastries to people, and
you can do both. In fact, we're going to have an event tomorrow, and iRock will reach into their bag and pull out whatever constitutes money, and I would like to put in a catering order.
Yeah. You just see her like
event.
all 4'9" of her stand up tall. And she's just so proud. She's like on the verge of tears, but in a good way.
Yes,
To
that
bring you a
way.
wonderful cart,
you
and from that cart, cater the event.
That would be so wonderful.
Exactly. That
Rusty.
way,
Yeah.
when
sorry,
it comes to and that way when it comes to orders coming in, you would only need to go ahead and bring your cart out either when you are catering an event or if you're making deliveries.
I never thought to take deliveries. I just thought to bring it around and see what happens. I like the organization. I'm not good at that, but I can learn. I think I would want to make it something a little bit bright, something cheery. Rusty, I would love to buy some of that ube from you that you had in that award-winning pie.
If you'd like, I could show you how to make it. I don't really. I make it for myself most of the time, and for some of my friends here. I'd love to show you how to make it, and I'll gladly give some to you.
And she
That
just
would
wraps
also
you
be a
in such a
wonderful
big hug.
I just
That
hug
would
her
be a
back
wonderful
tight.
class. You could market it, and like all of a sudden there's a vision board. You could market it as the Hop Top winning pie. Learn to make it yourself,
Like a master class.
like a master class.
Oh, Rusty, would you be
I
down
am-
for that? That would be amazing.
Absolutely. I just have to make sure my tomatoes and my strawberries and my ube are all taken care of.
Oh,
But
of
after
course.
that, I definitely come.
Do it once a month.
Wonderful.
Absolutely.
I need all of you to roll a noticing check in this moment.
Ooh.
I cast vision board. I love
Vision
that so
board.
much. You have me through the floor right now. That's amazing.
That's your kitchen magic mood boards.
Mood boards.
Oof.
Ooh, not so good on mine.
Rusty got a 13.
Yes, Rusty, as Holly is giving you this big hug, you were at just the right height level to see on her cart, kind of tucked away, a starlight that's glowing a little bit brighter.
I'll just while we're hugging, I'll sort of look over towards the other two and sort of point my head over towards the starlight.
And she kind of like composes herself and,
Yeah.
okay, I think for now I'll take my cart back. I'll be extra quiet knowing that the wee ones are sleeping. I'll go the other way around. It's a little bit longer, but no trouble there. And I'll be ready fresh tomorrow with a whole mess of bread pudding for this event that's happening.
It's a wellness event.
Hey, Holly, I'm sure you've been having trouble sleeping, just like the rest of us.
Yeah, I've been
And-
kind of relying on coffee and sugar, and that's not the way to do it.
Once you go through that sugar crash, I would advise you to go home, take a pretty long nap, get some rest, and when you're ready, get back to it.
I
That's
think
right.
that's a great idea. Ooh.
Oh, in fact, Holly. And Irok is going to like rip a small piece of like tunic off to make a little sachet
Mhm.
with the blue pea flower.
Oh,
This will help. Just look at the blue of the tea as you come to rest.
thank you so much. I've really been missing the starlight glow. It reminds me of where I grew up. We had one there, and I brought this one all the way from Amber Haven. My friend gave it to me, and she started to like wander with the cart. I should go back and visit them, but maybe not for a while. And she's moseyed her way down the street.
Moseying on. I mean, how far away does she live? And would it be worthwhile for the three of us to perhaps walk her to her door and make sure the cart doesn't go off in the ditch?
The town is not big. It's maybe a 5-minute walk
Okay.
for her. You could actually see
Okay.
peeking above the town. The town, again, not very big, but peeking above the houses, you see the telltale blue roof of the bright blue bakery. Not too far away.
Sure. If we're especially worried about it at all, once she turns a corner where we can't see, I'm sure Sky would kind of pop up. One moment, y'all, and pop up and just fly and watch her go meander the path. Oh, okay. She stopped a little. Nope. Okay. All right. Yep. She's in her door. There
And
you
you
go.
hear some happy barks from Daffodil, and all is
Right.
well with Holly Tumbledown.
I think while Sky is off doing that, we just see IROC, who's been up the whole time because he's doing other stuff, just slowly like fall asleep, and like their neck is probably like super craned as they lean their head on Rusty, who's probably shorter than them.
And you crane your
no.
neck and kind of Eustace, because you've shifted
Oh,
the little nest
no.
you made.
No.
Okay. I
And
think
just
if
IROC
Sky,
probably falls asleep against his friend. He's
oh
tired.
boy, I think
Uh,
if coming back down, Sky sees that, Sky will look over at Rusty and kind of nod and try to help pull IROC underneath a tree. There's a nearby tree that's
Aw.
probably right there, just so they have a little moss bed. Put down a little moss bed, right? Because I think Sky, in particular, since she perches most places when she's away from home, she has to be ready for that very thing, being able to, uh, cup a squat
Yeah.
and sleep right where she sits. So I think she has the wherewithal to, okay, let's just quietly just put together a little bit of moss bed and give
let's
you
take
some
her to the
support under your head. And
take him to the willow park underneath one of these trees, and
Mhm.
I'll take off my straw hat, and once he's all laid out, I'll just put the hat like over his face so that
Aw.
no sun will go through the hat into his eyes.
I like the idea that because he's got like a long like deer snoot, it like
just
hits
kinda
it and it doesn't
Yep.
fully go over. It just hits the snoot, like shades it around the
Just
circle.
Amazing. Like a
right there.
parasol, like the
Perfect.
very
Like the
weirdest
parasol.
parasol.
Yeah.
Mhm. Perfect.
And
It
you're
like floats
having
up as you breathe.
Yeah, oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're
And I
having
think,
this quiet moment. Oh, go ahead, Sky.
oh yeah, I was just gonna say, certainly, if we wanted to allow our rock to stay here and have that lovely nap under the willows, Rusty and I could probably make our way back over to the library. By now, the children may have been starting to wake from their nap, and just to formally say a farewell, a fond farewell to um, our patron there who hired us in the first place for this
Did she
puppet
though?
show. Well, no, not in that sense, but I do feel like that. Sky might be inclined to make it a once a month thing, a once a month event at the library. This is something very new that she has not participated in, or her friends. And I think that would be a lovely bit of volunteer work to work in just once a month, have a lovely little event where we have this lovely story, and extra nap time for the adults as well. I'm
Yes.
sure the adults in the town will will readily say okay to that.
So you walk back through town from the Willow Park, and it's a little bit livelier. People have started to wake up, get to their jobs. It's early afternoon. You notice a couple people walking into Arcane Confections, which is the candy shop, and on the way to the library. You give your piece to Ms. Albert, who is groggy but has appreciated the nap. All the kids are still kind of either asleep or just waking up, and she thinks, "Oh, that'd be a great idea, and you're the most wonderful puppeteers. I'm so happy that I hired you. When I saw that you came in and you had volunteered, and it was real nice."
Well, for first timers, I think we did an okay job, but I think if we do this once a month for the children, I'm sure their parents would be much appreciative, and certainly it would give us more practice from time to time to
Yeah.
become even better storytellers.
We need that star, though. That wasn't one of my puppets, but that little green ferret puppet you had. Very realistic. I would love to see that one come back.
Oh, yes.
And with that, she kind of goes back to like rousting the children little by little and making sure that, you know, like the parents are around and ready to pick up their kids. So
And
you,
I will
yeah, go ahead.
I'll be sure as a cohort IROC takes a nap right now. I will be sure to have him make sure to put together a few sachets, perhaps to help out from time to time for yourself as well. Anyone, I'm sure, would be welcome to his mix of tea that is just divine.
Oh, we do love our tea here, especially those fascinating, colorful ones that he seems to come up with. Absolutely wonderful, magical even. The kids really seem to love it. And then she's talking to you, but like also like realizing she slept for a solid hour and has stuff to do. Rusty, did
Yeah.
you go to the library as well, or were you hanging with IROC in the Willow Park?
I think I was just gonna hang with IROC in the Willow Park.
Very nice. So as you're having this sort of quiet moment, Sky has gone to the library. It's about 20 minutes that have passed that IROC has been able to nap, when you all, because it is quite loud and in the middle of town, hear a bit of a commotion coming from Arcane Confections. And you see, as you're exiting the library and you're in the Willow Park, a bunch of people running towards it. And a little bit of not quite screaming, but definitely some distressed noises coming from within. And that's where we're going to end for today.
I knew it. I knew it.
My goodness,
Cliffhanger!
cliffhanger
Dun, dun, dun.
endings.
That is where we're going to end today. Next week is our finale. I can't believe we're down to one more episode.
Oh,
So much fun.
Dropped something. It's okay.
oh no!
I don't know what I dropped, but it was big.
That was my heart hitting the floor with the reminder that we only have one
Water
episode
bottle.
left.
Oh no! Ka-thunk! The play was amazing.
Oh, y'all did so good.
My
I
face
think the play
hurt
was
so
sold by
much.
your Eustace actions.
It
made the
was-
play.
I love
Yeah.
Eustace so much.
I didn't
Yeah.
think, I was like, oh, this will be easy. I can sit back and enjoy this play. No, you made me an actor in it. Thanks.
That Eustace hover was amazing. It was like, ooh.
Oh my gosh, that was so good.
King is Eustace. Short King Eustace.
Oh
So
my
much
goodness.
fun. But yes, we
love it.
have our finale next week. I'm so excited. This has been so much fun. So we're going to hang around and we will all see you next week. Bye.
Bye now.
Bye.
Do, 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 do.